Hi, I'm Bruce Blitz, and welcome to Cartooning with Blitz. Look how many times today alone I've come in contact with a sign or a poster. Like you have this one for a detour and one for beware of dog. Now these signs would work, but you know, look how much better they are with a crisp cartoon to add some punch. And how about you? Have you ever had to make a sign or a poster for school or for work? Well, guess what? You've come to the right place, because that's what we'll be doing today, creating signs and posters. And for our feature of the day, Spattertoons, a neat way to add color with a toothbrush. And for our doodle trick, a real sight gag, because it's drawn from the numbers 2020. So stay tuned for that. I know you'll enjoy it. Now, for our first sign, let's do a sign that I actually did years ago. I go to this post office all the time, and they said, "Hey, you're a cartoonist, aren't you? An artist?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "Would you make a sign for us that explains to people how you don't have to come to the window first and have all the forms filled out and then explain the forms?" No problem. So I did a sign, and I figured what would be wrong pencil. What would be a good way to get these people to listen? So what I decided to do was create a character like a mailman. And I had him doing all the talking, and that way it would be a little more fitting on the occasion. You know, it's a post office and everything. Now, for a hat like that, you just go up and down, and you can put an emblem in the middle. And I made him a happy postman with a mustache, real friendly kind of guy. And he was doing the talking. And he was looking right at you. And let's put his outfit in. Here's his shirt, his tie, his lapel. And let's see what else. Now over here, his shoulders, and his hand comes up, and it was holding one of the forms. Now, there was a lot of writing on this sign. And over here, I would say things like, please have all forms filled out. These lines indicate what I said. Then I went on to explain everything, and there was a ton of writing on there. Let's add some color to this guy. It came out pretty good. Now, on one of the words, when I actually wrote this thing out, I wrote valuable. I left out the A. It says valuable. And to this day, which is about 10 years already, it's still up, that sign, and I stand in line waiting to be next, and that haunts me. And the people behind the register always say to me, "So you can't spell valuable, huh?" And I always say, "Well, look at all the ones I got right. That's pretty good, huh? I'm adding a little brown to that side. Don't I get credit for that?" Okay, that side, you can make a little more shadowing on that side. So a little bit of red for his tongue, a little bit of red for his cheeks. And we got a friendly postman. I'll put a little blue for his uniform. There you go. And that's a sign and poster. Worked pretty good. They actually paid me for that, too. Okay, this next sign is a great one, and we're going to draw a guy falling down the steps, because this sign is going to be for watch your step. Now, we've all seen that. I'll start with the pencil. I'm going to draw a fella who's like on the ground, just like this. Now, put his body up like that. This is a funny sketch when you see it. Not funny for the guy, but it's a funny cartoon to draw. I'm just going to lay it out. And let's see, have his legs kind of in a funny position, like this. Now, of course, falling down the steps isn't funny. We all know that. But this is cartoon world. I think we can let out our frustrations in cartoon world. Okay, I'm going to go back now with a marker. So let's do that. Here's his ear, his messed up hair, and his eyes are down like that, tightly shut. And his mouth is up like this, his teeth are clenched, and his shoulders back like this, and his arms out like this. You can see that expression on him. And his hands are back. Here's his body. And let's cut it there. And here's his legs. And here's his foot, one foot. Here's the other foot. Now, let's put the steps in over here. Okay, now put the ground line in, some shadowing here. Now this won't work as good without some cartoon effects and accessories, so let's do that. The swirl makes it look like he's hurting, and in cartoon world, you always see stars when something happens. And let's see what else. Oh, a big sound effect and a splash. How about bam? Like he just hit. Now, of course, we have to have the dotted lines that show where he tripped. And put a little trip, trip. And there you go. Now let's add some color to this guy. I'm going to use my kneaded eraser first to erase the pencil lines. See, you lay it out with pencil, ink lines stay, pencil lines go. Doesn't leave a lot of crumbs either. Although a pink eraser works very well too. Okay, a little bit of light peach. I'm using my color tuning pencils on this fella. A little bit on his face, his hand. Let's see, we use some blue. And for his pants. And you know what? I'm going to sharpen this a little bit. Always have a sharpener. Keep your drawing sharp too. Keep your pencil sharp, keep your drawing sharp. Okay, I'll use a little bit of red. We'll give him a checkered shirt. How's that? And let's add to that splash a little bit. Okay, I like that. Let's do another one. How about a yard sale? Now, there's a sign we see all the time. Let's have a fella who is carrying a lot of stuff for the yard sale. So we'll start with a character like that, an oval, and let's draw his face. And he'll have a baseball hat on. How's that? And he's a happy guy, so we'll just have him looking out like this with a big smile. You know what? Instead of a smile, we'll put a smile in, but we're going to put a little black dot there, because out of that black dot, we're going to have him whistling. He's happy. He's going to a yard sale. And now his arm is up like this, because he's going to be holding a box. And the box is full of junk to sell. Now, straight out here, I'm going to lay out the rest of it. That's one foot, and that's his other foot. Now we're just sticking it up, which is also known as fleshing out. I hope you're following along with me, because it may seem like I'm going a little fast, but you know what? Try to remember the steps, because if you take things step by step, you can do it. This drawing didn't just appear on the page. You saw it happen. Okay. And besides, I believe in you. Okay, now over on the right-hand side, what I'm going to do is write yard sale. And I'm going to show you a little trick about lettering, because we are doing signs and posters. You need some lettering tricks. Yard sale. I'm using a broad tip marker, laying it right on the flat part. And what I'm going to do is make nice big letters. And you always want to plan ahead. You ever see a sign that always has that? Seems like they started real big, people, and it ends up all crumpled into one corner. Well, that's because you don't plan ahead. In fact, there's a very famous sign that says plan ahead, and it's all crumpled in. Now what I'm going to do is take another marker, a different color. I'll use black, and watch this. If I go along the left side of it, I'll make it like a drop shadow, and look how it's got a three-dimensional look to it now. Isn't that neat? That's how you make a sign. But you know, you have to have the right tools. You know, it's important that you have a nice broad tip to be working from. Same thing down here. I won't continue, you get the idea. Okay, you know what, let's do another one. And this time, let's do a sign for school. Remember I said maybe for school you might need something? How about if someone were running for treasurer? Let's draw a face right in the center. And let's have a cute little girl who's running for treasurer. Let's give her a big old smile and some cute cheeks and some freckles. Got to have freckles on her. And let's see, she's going to be running for treasurer, and she's trying to tell you that she's the person for the job, so she's got one eye open and the other one winking at you, saying, I'm the one. I'll even write wink. How's that? some bangs, and the other side of her hair, and an ear. Now let's give her 2 pigtails. Yeah, I like that. Now this arm here is going to be holding a piggy bank. So now we have to draw a cartoon pig. Now we do a show on cartoon animals, and that is so much fun. We went out on location on that one. We had a good time. And here's the ear. Smile. And their noses look like electrical sockets, don't they? Look at that. Now let's put a $sign on there. And her other arm's over here. Maybe it's even holding it. Let's put her other hand here. 1, 2, 3. Her fingers are coming up, wrapped around, holding it. And that's pretty much it. You know, I'm going to use some chalk on this one and color it in, laying it on its side, cover a lot of ground that way. Let the tools work for you. Okay, just like that. All right, a little bit of red for the cheeks. There's a little bit of orange, actually. Let's give her orange hair, red hair. All right. Now, let's put in some lettering on this one. Let's see, what should we use? I got an idea. Let's use like a light peach. No, I got a better idea. I'm going to use the red again as a vote for Emily. That's Emily. And you know what? I think she's going to win because she's the person for the job. There it is. Okay, now a couple little quickies. This is a way to punch up a sign or a poster. Okay, now, if you had a sign that said, wet paint, let's see, let's draw that right now. You could just say wet paint, obviously. And that would probably work. People might get the message. But you know what? We cartoonists, we have to make it a little more lively, don't we? So, right down here, we draw a can of paint, which is nothing more than a cylinder shape with some effects on it, like the paint's leaking over. Here's the cylinder shape, and you can have the handle along the side, and you can write paint on it. And of course, you want to make it look wet, so you make a big old puddle like this. And to make that look like a shiny effect, I'm going to show you something kind of neat. You make a couple of lines going up and down, vertical lines next to each other in different places, and look at that. It looks like it's shiny. Make the can look shiny by making some diagonal lines and even some paint coming out. And there you have it. Put a border around this guy too. Signs and posters. Cartoons are everywhere, and it's up to you and me as cartoonists to keep it that way. All right. Now I've got one more to show you, and this one you may have seen in like your school library, and we'll start with a cube shape, and we'll draw a book. Just like this. It's nothing more than a cube shape with a rounded bottom there. And here's the book. Here's some writing. Here's the spine. Let's dress it up a little bit. And now we're going to draw an inanimate object coming to life, and we do a lot of shows on this. And he'll be doing the talking, and he'll see what he'll say. Quiet, please. And let's have him kind of pompous with his eyes shut like that, his eyebrows up, like he's scolding us, and he's talking. So his mouth isn't happy, it isn't sad, it's just kind of in a talking motion. And here's the teeth. And let's even put some arms on this fella. And have this one pointing. A circle, thumb in, finger up, the other one's folded down like that. And for what he's saying is, quiet, please. And this works real well when you have a character actually doing the talking with a talk balloon. And there it is, a sketch, some music. And next up, the feature of the day with spatter tunes. Stay tuned. Now, spatter tunes are a lot of fun, and it's a great way to add color to your signs and posters. Now, as the name indicates, spatter tunes, you might want to get some newspaper and lay it down first. Now, you need a few things for this project. Not much. I'll show you what it is. First, you need a mixing tray for your paints. And the paints are just poster colors, or watercolor will work fine, but you want to keep them pretty watery. And you got a blade here, a cutting blade, some hex nuts for weight, and some old toothbrushes, a pencil, scissors, and some tracing paper. And of course some paper towels. Now if you've got that, we're ready to go. Okay, the first one we're going to do is, here's a sign for a bake sale with a grandmotherly type up here. And we're going to color in her dress. So let's get started. She'll be our first subject here today. Put that down just like that. Okay. Now the tracing paper. You take a piece of tracing paper and we're going to cut a mask. And that is so we can mask off the part that we don't want the paint to touch. And we'll take a pencil after we lay it down so we can see through it like that, see? And we'll trace it like that. Oops, we don't have to go up there because all we have to do is cut around. We just want the outside line, not the inside lines. Like that. We want to go around the pie crust and around her beads. And the dress down here underneath the pie, and then trace underneath the pie. Now, I'll show you what that looks like. And then we're going to take the knife and cut this out. Now, I've already done one for the sake of time. And here it is, made out of tracing paper. And you can see it against my blue shirt there, the opening. And we're going to lay that opening on top of the character again, just like that. Now, here's where the weights come in, because we don't want the paint to sneak underneath the mask. So we put a few around, and here we go, folks. Get an old toothbrush, because I like to brush as often as I can. Did you ever brush your teeth? And why you got all kinds of foamy toothbrush on, toothpaste on there, you go like this to the mirror? Well, that's basically what it is. And friends, you never want to go this way. It goes on you. Okay, ready? We're going to use a little bit of orange. And here she goes. Go right in there. Make it nice and watery. If it's not watery, it won't spatter. And now we spatter tune. Yeah, look at that. It's coming off real nice. Remember, the waterier, the better. Look at that. It's like an airbrush effect. And when we take the mat off, you're going to see just how nice that is. I'm going to put it on a little bit heavier too, even. Just keep going. And not only does it add color, it adds texture to your picture. Extra texture. You think that's easy to say, folks? All right, let's see what we've got. Here's where the paper towels come in handy. Take the weights off. Peel this back. Put it over here. Came out pretty nice. Look at that. See, just the part went on her dress. I like that. Okay, I got another one for you, and the next one is going to be the opposite. Instead of coloring in inside the line, we're going to use it for the background. Now, first, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is a sign I made, and I wrote on top, "Be right back," when I used to do portraits. And I'd put this on my easel and be back in like 5 minutes, and people would know. And it was kind of a cute thing, tell people I'll be right back as I saw this horrible monster. And we're going to do the background for this horrible monster, and I have it on another piece of paper here. And this time, we're going to trace the character and go around. And I'll show you what I mean. This is the mat I've cut for this character. And we'll put that on top of it, just like that. And put some weights on it. Because I see it's curling up a little bit. And I won't use that one. Just like that. Okay, around the edges. Maybe one more. And this time we're going to use dark blue. and the background will get it all. Here goes. Oh, that's working fine. And if you get some big splashes like that, that's fine. Gives you a nice texture. If you go off this way, it looks like it'll look like it's radiating from it. It's even better. One more. Good one. Okay. One more even. I like this. I'm having too much fun. Okay. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, a little got on the picture, but that's okay. You get the idea. You can dab that right off. See, while it's wet, it comes right off, too. Spatter tunes, a lot of fun. Try it. Next up, cartoon doodle tricks. Fun, aren't they? Like you go to the same school. You did a lot of painting. Remember in the beginning of the show, I said we would do a sight gag from 2020? Well, let's do that one right now. This is a nice one. This is a really good doodle trick, and it starts with 2020. Now, do you know what it means when you've got perfect vision and you've got 2020? Did you ever hear that? Yeah? Okay, well, we're going to draw 2020, and let's see what we can come up with. Now, over here, let's put an eye, and you might not know what this is going to turn out to be, but there's going to be one thing that I put in this, then you'll know. Right now, it's a face, right?
Yes.
And let's put some hair.
A man?
It's a man, right? Now, if I put this on it, now what kind of man is it?
A doctor. A doctor.
A doctor, that's exactly right. Now, over here, let's see. Put some eyes in this.
Is this going to be a patient?
A patient? That's exactly, your head, that's great. You're really good. We'll make a big smile. Of course, he's getting his eyes examined. That doesn't hurt. That's a good thing. Here's his face. And let's put some hair on him. Let's give him a bow tie. I like that. And there we have it, from 2020 into a doctor and a man named, what else? Seymour. Seymour, right. Now you can draw like this. This is a doodle trick. That was easy. Most of the drawing was already done by writing the numbers 2020. And that's all the time we have for today, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And for our Blitz tip, when you draw, don't worry about constructive criticism. Don't be afraid of constructive criticism. It helps to speed you along. We have this mouse here who's the constructive criticism, and this big elephant is the cartoonist, and he's not afraid, but he is afraid, but he shouldn't be, and he's running towards success. I'm Bruce Blica saying thanks for being with me, and keep on cartooning.